big silence.
Welcome to the Big Silence podcast. And three of my favorite people here in Austin. Well, Melissa, I know you don't live here, but you're coming back very soon.
Yes.
I may move.
Yeah.
So by my side here, if you're not watching on YouTube, I have a Sandy Brockman, who is my trainer. I always say a trainer needs a trainer. Sandy, as you all have learned, like I've struggled with working out, even though I've been in the fitness industry for 18 years.
Oh gosh. Don't ask how long I've been in the fitness industry.
30?
No, maybe.
But I love Sandy, and she actually brought me to Kollective because I was struggling to work out, especially with the pandemic, and myself being a fitness person. You know, I loved what connected me with you was the first time I worked out with you, I was going through anxiety, and you sat me down on those couches over there, and you said, if you can just drive to the gym, we'll just sit here. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, what I knew to be true about you was you needed to just set a new pattern, and that pattern couldn't be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So if that pattern meant just to drive here and talk to me and then drive home, that was a new pattern. We had to set that pattern. Mm-hmm. And I get that pattern, so I knew exactly how you felt.
Yeah.
But I always get you to do something when you get here.
I know. And then we have Melissa Alcantara. If you don't know Fit Gurl Mel, Melissa already, amazing human. You've been in the fitness industry freshly
10 years.
10, okay.
Oh, well, doing fitness for 10, but in the industry for 6.
And I'm just going to brag on you a little because you're
I'm
my
a newbie.
friend. Like, Kim Kardashian reached out to you randomly, like her people, and were like, hey, Kim wants to train with you.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like a waitress in Brooklyn. And I was like, fuck. I guess I got time.
And then you moved to California and maybe now to Austin.
Yeah.
And then we got Jay Hills, Jeremy Hills, founder of Kollective, and more.
Oh, thank you.
I love your story, by the way.
It's fun.
Let's share your story.
We don't have that much time.
I know, I'm going to have you on a solo later, but
Yeah.
I love your story. I saw you share everything at Soho House.
Oh, that's right.
But definitely share that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a solo one.
Yeah.
We'll do a solo one. No, it's thank you. First of all, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you guys for allowing me to participate in the warm up a little bit earlier.
I cut you off.
Even
You had all the ladies around, and I was like, okay.
Jeremy went so long on that warm-up. It was
Karina
weird.
hit me with, like, I swear, like the Apollo Sandman, like, all right, bro, that's enough. I was like, oh, okay. I guess y'all are warm.
Don't take the whole hour.
Yeah.
We got Sandy and Melissa here.
I was done after those 30 minutes. I was
It
like,
was
I'm
not
ready to
30
eat.
minutes. It was not 30 minutes.
Close. 24.
29.
20 minutes.
But yeah, I want to talk about fitness and mental health. So Jeremy and I connected here the first time, actually, the same couch that Sandy and I sat on. We were sitting over there and talking about the gym, and then connected, and then we started talking about mental health.
Yep.
And I think that's where all of our connection is. And I've gotten to know Sandy and your story, and Melissa and your story, and you. And I think we all are in the business of fitness, not even the business, but we work out because it makes us feel good. And it was never to look good. And I think that's such an important story and to tell, that we work out for our mental health. So can we go starting with Sandy?
Well, I always say, I've done everything in fitness. You name it, I've done it. I've been a power lifter, for God's sakes. I've been a bodybuilder, for God's sakes. I've been a CrossFit coach, for God's sakes. I've done functional training. There's not anything you're going to throw at me that I haven't already done. And every time I'm low in my life, fitness is redemption for me every time. And it's the ability to move forward again. So, and y'all know what I mean by that. When life gets hard, you can always return to that workout and improving your mental focus and your self-focus. So for me, it's always been the track that I've chosen to keep moving forward in mental health and my physical health. And so it's always a good barometer for where I am in my life, and my fitness tells me a lot. No, but mental health is all about fitness, and fitness is all about mental health. They're really not, thank God people are finally understanding how they're intertwined. For a long time, we didn't understand how they were intertwined, and a lot of people were doing a lot of silly stuff and punishing their bodies. To be honest, I've trained women for so many years, and they always say to me, "Oh, Sandy, I want to do this, or I want to look like that." And I say to them, "I know you've done the most work. You've actually done more work than anybody else. You're not lazy. You've just not learned how to do it right." And so because they've taken the mental health option and they've ramped it. They're trying to fix their mental health through fitness, but a lot of times they go too high with it, right? And so I see a lot of women trying to self-correct through fitness. When you and I met, it's like it's okay. You can rest and go a little slower, and that can also be redemption and for your mental health through fitness. We don't have to do high. I'm not anti-cardio, but I'm saying we can do it. It does raise your cortisol.
No, actually, you say that running gets rid of your booty. So
Well, yeah, running is bad for booty gains. Endurance running. What are we talking about?
Facts.
Facts. But anyway,
I never knew that.
yeah. When people want me to run, I go, it hurts my booty gains, so I'm not doing it. But I'm not doing it. But yes, and I'll ramble on forever, and you know that. But I will say that through fitness, I feel like, and as a trainer, I can sort of, and I'm talking to the women base right now especially, we have so much going on, and it's so stressful in our lives. And what women do is they take fitness and they ramp up their cortisol, they ramp up everything. And they think high cardio, high cortisol, that's it. But what I want, and you know that, is what I want to bring women back into strength training and understanding their bodies and getting their mental health back into a paradigm of slow and controlled. If you can control your breath in a workout, you can control what's going on in here. So you can learn a lot from training.
yeah.
I mean, I started with, I wanted the abs. I mean, I thought that's what I wanted.
Aesthetic.
Yeah. I was like, I'm tired of feeling shitty and looking at myself and being like, I hate what I see. And honestly, I thought that's what it was. But now I know that, that's just the cherry on top. Everything you do, the abs, the defined arms, the big booty, that's just, the amazing result of choosing you every single time. And at the same time, it's something that you can easily, you can control, right? So many things in your life you can control, and you feel like, everything is happening to me. But fitness is something that you can control. You control how much effort you put into it. You can control, what you eat, what time you go to the gym, what time, if you decide to work out at home or whatever it is that you do. And it's such a, it's definitely something that I revolve kind of like everything around. And it helps me structure just my life in general. And I've learned that it's not just about that, and it was in the beginning. And now it's like, okay, I don't have to work out 3 hours a day and eat broccoli and white rice.
And
it's
tuna
like,
in your car.
all right, exactly, and eat, scrambled eggs out of a Ziploc. It's like, now I like.
That sounds like trauma.
Dude, I went through it all.
Yeah,
I'm an extreme person. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put 100% effort into it for as much time as I need to get the result that I want. I'm like horse vision.
I love that.
And so.
Right, but now, so we talked earlier about working out 3 hours a day, because I used to too, and I would do fitness competitions, and I ate asparagus out of a Ziploc.
Exactly.
Never
you
again.
get burnt out, and you're just like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. The abs and the thing, it's not worth all of it. I mean, maybe it is at the time. Everybody's in a different time always. Right now, I'm in a balanced time. Yeah. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to have wine. I'm trying to hang out with my friends and eat ribs. And you know what I'm saying? Drink beer.
I love wine and ribs. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? And my body also shows all these things. It's like, oh, she looks like she works out, but she looks like she's living life too. And that's where I'm at, and I'm accepting that because life is about accepting shit. Right? If you can accept shit, then
I love
you can
shit.
feel good and
That's a bar.
responsible about your life, right? And you know, as long as you're responsible for your life and what you do and the decisions that you make, and you can accept things, then I think you're in a good place.
I'd agree.
All right, Jay Hills, what you got to follow up after us
Well,
three women?
First of all, they killed it, right? But no, for me, it's a little bit different. Because
You want the abs.
No. I come from a sports background, a team sports background. So I've been involved in team sports since I was like 6 years old. So working out was never really working out. It was training. Like there was a desired goal with a hard date attached to it for a purpose, and then that purpose was graded with a performance. So it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your identity. Like we got Roshan Johnson in the building today. He'll be entering in this year's NFL draft, right? Roshan, you can probably relate to this. Let me know if I'm all the way out of bounds, but you don't even look at the seasons like winter, fall, summer, spring. It's season and off season. That's your life. We don't even look at the world the same way. So when I think of like what fitness has been, it's been a foundational part of my actual life. In the last 10 years, as I've gotten into out of sports and then more so in like, I guess you would call it general fitness and health, wellness, I guess you would call it. It serves like in a twofold kind of thing where it's my way to challenge myself, like the hard thing, you know, like we always say, chase the hard thing. So it's the way for me to scratch that itch of like a set goal with a performance attached to it and a grade. And then also it serves as a foundation. It's what resets me. Like some people, when they need to reset, they go to a spa. When some people need to reset, they go to a retreat. When some people need to reset, they take a week off from work. Whatever it may be, they go see family. For me, my daily reset is just moving my body. Sandy, you'll find me on the treadmill on an incline with my headphones in and a podcast, an audiobook, or taking a call, whatever it may be, but that's me resetting. So when I think of what it means to me, it's simple. It's what I build everything else around. Not necessarily for like an aesthetic goal, because those change, right? But just more so for like a mental clarity type thing. Even when I'm traveling, like I can relate to you getting in real late last night. I travel pretty often. No cameras, gym's closed, nobody's here. I come here, this is my first stop before I go home. Because it makes no sense. I live north, so I can't go. But when
I think I asked him, like, do you ever sleep? Because you're like text or like on Instagram at like 2 a.m.
So think about that, right? So I'll land. When did you get in last night?
She got to my house at like 1.
So I would have, that been my schedule, it would have looked like plane lands, Uber, by the time you make it to the Uber pickup, let's call it 12:30. Uber here is probably 15 minutes, no traffic. And by 1 o'clock, I'm in here doing what I need to do to reset myself. Where others are probably saying, I need some sleep. I'm like, I gotta reset. And then I'll sleep, and then I'll have my day. So,
Sandy, what's your reset?
Well, it's definitely, like I said, it always goes back to fitness. But I've, like you, I've done and the sports thing is, I totally get that. I got the opportunity to train some ex-NFL players. These are like 40-year-old NFL players, right? They all got 3 kids. It was really interesting. They said to me, hey, coach, they never had a female coach in their life, by the way. They said, I was a skills player. I don't do all that stuff you're making them do. And I don't, or I was this player. And I said, well, you're 40 now with 3 kids. And you're you're about to have a heart attack. So you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. And you are, but for the mental part of that was to take an athlete that had performed their whole life to have a sport, because I did have a sport, and and I know that feels different. So a lot of people that come out of sports young, it doesn't feel like a goal anymore. It feels like, wow, I'm just working out to work out.
Right.
I got no goal. So that's and Reva and I were talking about that the other day. keeping goals is really important. Even as you get older, whether it's a strength goal or a endurance goal, or all the elements of below, right? A power goal, a strength goal, an endurance goal, a metabolic conditioning goal, keeping all of that in your playlist as you get older, and then sort of having your own, I used to be able to strict press 95 pounds. I better get back there because that's my strength goal. Mm-hmm. And just sort of revisiting different aspects of conditioning through the years has kept me interested. When I'm not playing a sport, or I don't have or there's not an off season or a season, it's kept me accountable because I always tell people when I train them, when I told y'all to do burpees, I'm so sorry.
I stepped away.
Oh God, I pulled out the burpees today. I haven't pulled out the burpees in a minute.
I go through my fitness routines and changes, and I'm not in the burpee phase right now.
I know you're not. I know you're not. But what I asked y'all to do was really hard, and it was a mental question. And the question was, 20 seconds to do max burpees. Let's say you did 5. Can you match or beat that next number on the next round when I got you going? And it's not because I care if you match or beat that number physically. I care about it mentally. Yeah. Are you strong enough to go fast when you don't want to?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that changes people's mental health in fitness. Can you do hard shit when it counts?
Yeah.
We practice in this gym because we play in real life. So this is all just for fun. But you got to do the hard shit in here so that you can do the hard shit in real life. And so, all right.
No, I'm thinking like,
I freaking love you.
Piggyback on that a little bit. Like, the mental piece is really the piece that matters, right? Are you willing to take yourself there? Like, are you, like, obviously we all start where we start at, right? And it's great. Like you said, coaches need coaches. But the challenge is when it's just you. Mm-hmm.
You're your hardest competition.
When you said you were going to do X, and now you have to hold you accountable, which a lot of times is a direct replication of what life actually is like.
Yes.
Right? Because I always say people care to an extent.
Yeah.
Even your immediate family, to an extent. They got other things they got to do. So you have to hold you accountable. And when I think of like training, that's what it is. Like, there's no clocks in here. That wasn't on accident. Stop clock watching.
Just do the damn thing.
Do the damn work. Stop clock watching. If you really need to know what time it is, ask me. But too many times, even when it hurts, what do we say? How much time we got left? Do the work.
Yeah.
The clock, 30 seconds, maybe 32. I may have looked down a little late. Who cares?
Yeah.
Sandy
it's a mentality.
I do kinda lie.
It's more so a mentality than it is anything else.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I'm like, if I say I'm gonna do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster at level 6, 7, whatever it is, I don't get off at 19 minutes and 59 seconds because that is just a representation about like, if I say I'm gonna do 20 minutes, I'm gonna do 20 minutes. Yeah. That's it. Because if I start doing 19 minutes and 50 seconds, and then I'm gonna do that everywhere else in my life. Like, and that is like keeping promises, right? Trusting yourself, right? Because if you can't trust yourself, then you can't trust anybody else. And
nobody else can trust you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the gym is the best. Like, I'm gonna give.
It's a testing ground.
Yeah. And 90% effort or 100% effort in all the things that I do, and be honest with myself. Because if I'm not, then I can't do anything else out of here.
Yeah.
By myself.
I had some of our members run sprints on this turf the other day, and what I told them was, you have to start behind the line, and your hand and foot has to be behind the line, and then you have to have your hand and foot behind the line. Why do I really care that they're right behind the line? No, because it's integrity now.
Yes.
You got behind the line and you showed me the integrity that you were willing to do that every time, even when no one was looking or I acted like I wasn't looking. Because the integrity you show to me in my class shows me who you are in real life. You know what I'm saying? The small details that we do in the gym, like get your squat right, it transforms to who you are and how you're dealing with life. So that is super big on bridging with mental health, is like you were saying, this is where we practice and then you play out there. So anything you show me that's not, that you're trying to cheat a rep or You lied to me about your reps. Well, then I'm going to say I know what's going on outside of your life.
Yep.
Okay.
That is totally
100%.
100%. And I think something that's really important to point out, especially like being here at Collective and getting to know the community that Collective is about. It's not just a gym. In meeting you, Sandy, as a trainer, and then Mel, getting to know you, and Jeremy, like, you need community for motivation, and we all get each other. And when we're down, we lift each other up.
100%.
And that's why, as a trainer, and myself as a trainer, and needing someone to hold my hand and lift me up, it's been so important to be here and push forward and then grow up again.
100%.
So that I can give to my community and tone it up, and the women in my life and my husband, shout out Bobby. And no, it's just so important. It's that physical movement. And I feel myself getting stronger again. And I'm so grateful for that because I have people like you in my life. And then I hope that I can come back around and lift you up when you need it.
And you do, actually.
With that piece, though, we typically call that like positive pressure. Is what we call it, because when there is somebody next to you, it does add that extra element of you don't want to let this person down, or you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of this, whatever the case may be.
like a silent little competition.
It's a silent little competition.
Always.
Mostly happening with yourself, but other people around help. You're like, oh no, motherfucker.
Yeah. The best
I'ma
part about
beat
it, the best part about it too, is that like you see it all the time. You see it all the time. Like no matter what, no matter how tired you are, it's always funny to me to see somebody like look up and see somebody else still going, and they're like, if they can do it, I can do it. And then they start going again, right?
Yeah.
So I think that accountability that's there is huge.
Yeah.
Is huge. And I mean it's one thing we've always said is like you gotta do the work, you just don't gotta do it alone.
Yeah.
Also that competitiveness. I'm a competitive person.
Really?
I love a challenge.
Really?
Yes.
I would have never thought that.
2
let's
minutes
go
push-ups
squat.
right
Let's
now. Jeremy.
I would be literally dying. I'm like, no way is anybody gonna beat me doing
I
this.
think we need a competition between the two of you.
Let's go.
How many
I'm
many
nervous.
burpees?
What are
I'm
we?
nervous.
Jeremy's
Oh my
not doing
God,
burpees.
burpees.
No, I'm
No,
nervous.
He's not doing burpees.
Now listen,
No.
I will walk with you on this treadmill, and we will see
We
who
gonna
gets
walk
off.
it out.
We will see who gets off first.
I'm up for it.
You know, I always say that, so I know CrossFit gets a good name, it gets a bad name, whatever. What CrossFit did is it made adults do really hard shit that they hadn't done in a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had to push themselves safely, unsafely. I don't know which box you were at.
Well, if you come here, you can go
We're
to the
doing
PT
it safely,
section.
yes. But it made people, like you said, it made them go harder than they wanted to go. And that's everything. Because like I tell my classes and my clients, go hard now. Now you go hard. This is where you're going to let it go. So when you're out in the real world, you've proven to yourself you can go hard. There's not a lot of chances we have to go max effort outside in the real world.
That's fair.
But max effort in here, now you know what what you're made of.
But what
now?
if someone, because let's take the reference of I don't go 19 minutes and 59 seconds. But what if someone at home is like, I don't even know how to go 2 minutes right now, but I want to get there.
Yeah.
But I don't have that motivation. I don't have community. I'm not in real life. I don't have a beautiful gym to go to or
Oh, that's
friends like
easy.
us. Like, what do they do?
That's easy. We start with that all the time. It's effort.
Yeah.
Effort. Effort is literally between you and you. It's nothing else. It's not a time. It's not a clock. It's not. Did you give it everything?
Yeah.
If you can consistently, daily check the box, I gave it everything, the results are the results.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll improve on that.
And somebody's 2 minutes is somebody's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it all
facts.
depends. Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, you think that the person who needs to lose 50 pounds and the person who needs to lose 5, they feel the same. It doesn't matter the weight in between them. It's here, you know? They both feel like they can't do it. It's, they don't know what to do. It's a shitty process. They're not being consistent or whatever it is. They just feel bad, right, about themselves and the choices or decisions they're not making, but they feel exactly the same. And the amount of effort they're putting into it is exactly the same, no matter the amount of weight they need to lose. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just the difference between one person and the other.
Yeah. I would say to drill down on that, for somebody to give them all of that and to put it into a practical thing is to just tell them to walk for 2 minutes, see how far they get. Mark that off. The next day, walk again, try to get a little further than you did the day before. Putting it, you know what I mean? For me, I find that people that are in new to fitness or giving them just how many air squats can you do in a minute to sit to this chair, and then tomorrow try to beat it by 1. Those small things allow that now they have to put forth the effort because they have to try to beat themselves.
Yep.
And every day you try to beat yourself just a little bit. And like you said, you're big. We're our biggest I'm the biggest competition of Sandy Brockman, of any Sandy Brockman in the world. Yeah. I want to kill her. I want to kill Sandy Brockman, and I want to demolish. And I'll be my biggest critic, and I'll tell myself, you can't do this. You can't do all those. That's too much. And then I'll be like, no, you can do it. And no one else could yell at me like that except myself.
Right.
Right, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And you're chasing the hard thing.
You're chasing
like you're chasing
and
the hard thing.
I do, and someone will get next to me going fast, and I'll go fast. But then no one's beating me out of me.
Yeah.
I
went to Pilates yesterday for the first time.
Oh, the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Yo, I hadn't been. I used to go twice a week, every week, and I hadn't been since we opened this collective, actually. And I got in there and I was like, all right, Liza, let's take it cool. And she was like, we got to rip the Band-Aid off. I was like, okay, all right, I see your energy today. And 90 minutes later,
that's a long time for Pilates.
90 minutes later, I'm like driving back here, actually, because I didn't have time to get home to take a shower. Yeah, I'm TMI. I didn't have time to get home to take a shower, and I had a meeting here. And I'm driving, and I'm just thinking, like, how I just got, like, destroyed in this class. And you want to know where I'll be Saturday morning?
Pilates.
I got to chase the hard thing. That shit was too hard. It whooped my ass.
I always tell my clients, what do you hate the most?
Do that.
Bulgarian split squats. Then that's what we're doing twice a week. No fucking breaks for about 6 weeks.
That's what we got to do.
That's exactly what we're doing. Because it's the thing you don't want to do that you got to do.
You can't run from that.
And if you want to,
you bulletproof your mind. That's all you do.
And then Sandy's so good. She's like mind-body connection, which I know all this. We all know all of this, and we're our own worst enemies, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And we are also our own worst cheerleaders. Yeah. And
well, we can also pass. I can be the one that says, "Oh, Sandy, you're looking pretty good. You don't need to do those Bulgarians this week." Everybody said you look really good in your tights the other day.
Yeah.
You probably don't need to do those.
So I can also
be my worst person. So then I go back to that person that says, what do you not want to do, Sandy, today?
We're going to do that.
And we're going to do that.
There we go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's huge for testing going back to mental health, is to test yourself constantly. People say, well, how do you keep doing this for so long? Thank you for that. I say it's because I'm constantly retesting myself, constantly. And doing the hard things that I don't want. I don't want to do Bulgarian split squats twice a week.
I don't either, but you make me.
But I do them.
But honestly, I'll be doing them tomorrow morning.
I know.
Honestly, me too. There are chances every single day. And I've been able to see all the challenges, right, that happen in your life. You're like, oh man, this is so hard, or why is this happening? But it is an opportunity to do something, right? It's like it's throwing this opportunity at you to work. Don't just sit there and let it happen to you. You have the choice to do something about it. And that is how I have a lot of things going on in my life all the time, and maybe I bring it to myself. I'm like a drama queen. I'm like, just pulling in the drama. Give me that toxic shit, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's something I'm working on the side. But the point is, it does give me the opportunity every single time to see something and be like, damn, okay, that's going down. How am I going to approach this situation in the best way that I can? And it's crazy because shit happens to everybody all the time. You're not by yourself. Every time something's happening, you're like, it's me and my life, and I can, but things are happening to everybody all the time. So how are you going to take the opportunity to take control of that, take responsibility of your life, and say, I'm gonna do something about it and not let it just happen to me?
A practice that I've done is I write it down. Like,
Yeah, it makes it real.
I mean, like, not like note section in the phone. I mean, old school pencil on a paper. Like, feel yourself writing it down.
Yeah.
Like, really write it down. And
I
then,
have to write things
like,
down, too.
identify, like, this is what I want most. Like, this is what I want more than anything else. And then even when you run into anything else, the hard things, you just remind yourself what you said you want most. And I guarantee you, as you start to dedicate yourself to that, it'll always win that battle against what you want now, which is probably to stop the burpees. That's what you want now. but what do you want most? And like when I've identified, I know for sure, for me,
What?
it makes absolutely no sense to go on and chase a successful life only to get to that point and then have health issues.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm chasing longevity. I got 2 young children, and I plan to always be more athletic than them. That's my
I love
goal.
that. I love that.
Those are that's what I want most is that. So whenever I'm doing anything that's like kicking my ass, I'm like, all right, what do I want most? I want 20, 30, 40 years from now to still be able to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
No assistance.
Yeah, you want to live as long as you can, as young as possible, right? You want to be young for as many years as you can.
Yes.
And I always say, it's like I was telling you that people love to know my age, which I don't tell people. But if I did, I would say, which I can, but it's not a big deal. But I would say, if you think I'm a good trainer and I'm 20, or if you think I'm a good trainer and I'm 40 or whatever, I'm just a good trainer. So I think that if you can keep your body and mind young and keep striving mentally towards new fitness goals, if we're talking in the fitness area now, that's the thing, right? It's like having new goals all the time, striving, but it doesn't matter. Age means nothing. It means nothing, y'all. What matters is your spirit and your mind, right? And who you are inside. And I mean, I'm 19 inside. You know that.
Oh, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you know that.
Yes.
I'm like 27 inside.
But what I did is I said, you know what? But I want my body to match my brain forever. So I'm gonna fight for longevity. I'm gonna fight for every ounce of muscle and strength that I have, and I'm not letting it go away. Yeah. And I'm fighting desperately to hold on to all that muscle, right? Because you know you're gonna need it. Put the strength in the bank account now, because you're gonna need it.
That's very true.
I mean, studies are like you're in intensive care. People that did strength training did have much better outcomes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's so like you were saying, it's just keep striving. Age is nothing. It means nothing. I can't even tell y'all how much it means nothing. If you're here, then and you keep, but don't let this go. Keep this up with this, and you'll be young forever.
I want to talk more about
believe that?
manifesting. And I actually, because of what you were saying, Jeremy, about writing things down, I don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Like, in one sentence, each of us, what are we manifesting? And then I would love for someone from the crowd to come up and say, I am saying this out loud. This is what I'm creating for myself. And then as community, we keep each other accountable.
I think before we even do that, like, that's a beautiful practice, right? They say, like, the stages of belief. Like, first is like even having a thought, and then usually you shoot that thought down. And then when you graduate and you're strong enough to actually, like, no, this is what I think. And then you will write it down, and then you'll tell it to yourself. And then that final stage is when you start to say it out loud. So I think this is a really good practice, because it makes it real, especially from an accountability standpoint. Once you say something out loud, people going to start looking for it.
I'm going to find each
Jay,
of
where
you
that
at
other
the gym.
facility at? You said you was doing another one. Where's that? Once you throw it out there, you got to start.
Yeah.
You got to start doing it.
It's like when I ask people, how many burpees did you get in the last 20 seconds? And I tell them to give me your number.
Yeah.
And so they have to say it out loud.
Yeah, it's
Give me
tough.
your number. I got 8 burpees in that last 20 seconds. Okay, match or beat that number.
Yeah.
You said that number out loud.
Yeah.
Now you hold yourself accountable in the next round.
So let's see what you
All
got.
right, I'm going to
Karina.
say it out loud. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, I grew up with a mother who was schizophrenic and passed away in 2021. Mel lost her mom in 2018, and we're like out here doing the good fight, being our best humans. What I'm saying out loud is I want to live in joy.
Peace.
Yeah, joy and peace and happiness. I'm getting stronger
Yes.
with
Which helps the joy.
I don't know. It's so simple. Like joy can have so much of a definition of what that means. But in love and peace and in joy and everything that I do in life, hard or not, that's it. I bring joy.
Yes. That's amazing. Do we need to say it out loud too?
Oh yeah, you're saying
Okay.
it out loud.
I'm trying to think what I'm going to say. I mean, I know what I'm
Really
going to say,
thinking.
but I'm trying to think of the words. I'm always in some weird self-discovery mode. I feel like my whole life, and you know what I mean. So I'm on another voyage now, and I'm always just trying to find the best Sandy there is, and that means as a friend, as a coach, as a coworker, but I want to be that. I want to be filled with joy, and I want to be my best. It doesn't look like your best or anyone else's best, but I feel like that's what I'm always striving for.
I see that in you.
Do you see that in me? Thank you. I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but to me.
I guess for me, I don't know. I set some goals for this year. And I want to build an empire that will allow me to give back to the people. Not just in like inspiration and all that, but if you're not gaining to give, then I feel like, you don't really know what it's like, right? So all the things that I learn, it's just because I want to show people that they can do it themselves, right?
Yeah.
So,
A servant's heart.
yeah, I would just want to like be able to like, get all this stuff so then I can actually speak it genuinely, not just say it just to say it, but to feel it and to say it so that people can get that energy back.
I feel like
Yes,
she stole my
good.
whole answer. No, that's
I'm with
amazing.
that.
Wait, that was the best. I think you had the best answer on the panel.
that was perfect. Mine is kind of twofold. One, I really, really, really want to continue to push the ideas of what we think wellness is. So I want to like push the needle on that thing, and I want to challenge this field to offer more to the people that trust the subject matter experts in this field. I want to push education. I want to push accessibility. I want to push the standard. I want to continue to challenge this field to do more. And then two, for my entrepreneurial mindset people in the building and that are listening, I wanna kind of rewrite a blueprint for what that looks like. I think that the road to success can be paved a different way than what we've been taught. And so I want to prove that. And to your point, you got to go do it first. So
That's right.
continue to do those things so that I can show that regardless of upbringing, regardless of, lack of examples, regardless of where you start, you can end up right where you want to be with the blueprint we'll create.
And I think both y'all's points go to authenticity of being who you really are in the world. You know what I mean by that? So that when you generate out, people know if you're authentic or fake. And so the things that you portray, they're going to read it, So that's so cool. I feel that I want to throw in authenticity there.
Is there anyone here who wants to say anything out loud and we'll keep you accountable? Don't be shy. It feels really good.
Roshan, what you
Oh, and
got
I
to say?
want a bigger butt.
Roshan, what you got to say?
Roshan,
Get
get
Johnson,
over here.
what do you
Roshan,
have
yeah,
to
come
say?
on.
He looked like,
Come to the chair.
once you put that look like, please don't call me,
He was going to call you.
I
didn't
was
you?
trying not to look at him, but
You better manifest.
yeah. Hold on, I guess. Just for a second. First off, thank y'all for sharing everything that y'all shared thus far. But I would say for me, honestly, I'm big on my faith. So just being the man that God wants me to be on the field and off the field, because now I'm at a point in my life to where all the stuff that I've worked for is like coming into fruition. So at the end of the day, I feel like he got me there. So I'm owed to him. So and whatever I do, whether that be football, I mean, I have an entrepreneurial mind. So having people in my life like Jay Hills and just people around this gym that I've met to, give me advice on my life and things that I should do and my desires, just kind of doing that to my fullest capability and putting God first, I think is ultimately what I'm set out here to do. So.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to be brave?
Come on, y'all. We're up here talking.
You. Yes. What's your name?
I'm Emily.
Emily.
Ooh, that's loud. I'm a group fitness instructor, so like the way that I train people, it's like the way I expect kind of like myself to be trained to. So I always like to push my mindset. So that's something that I like to translate, like what y'all were saying, like inside the gym, but also outside the gym. And I also like want to manifest the control I have and the discipline I have in the gym and have that control everywhere else in my life.
Especially with men. Because they ain't no control there. That was just a side thought.
You saw how fast she said that, though. You saw how fast she said that.
I was like, yes, have more control.
We know how Melissa's mind works now. We saw that.
That's a damn shame.
But that's awesome.
For sure. Anyone else? Manifest. Yes. Oh, yes. And then, yes, you first.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Charisma. So I would say I want to manifest creation because whenever I create, I'm my happiest and I'm my best self.
Yes.
That is so true. That is so true.
All right. Another manifester coming up. Love the shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
Thank you.
I gotta sleep with to get one of those shirts.
Been doing some split squats.
I want to manifest those legs.
He walks up there, we just start
Thank
his
you.
body.
Okay, I'm done. I just really enjoyed listening to y'all, and I came from a sports background as well, and it took me a little time to find that ground after sports, and then you explore some of the alternative ways to feel good, meditation and breath work, and you hear some of these other things that are out there. And a lot of us picture, like a cave somewhere far in India or, a meditation dome, somewhere in order to achieve some of those deeper parts of us. But if the field is comfortable to you or this facility is comfortable to you, do those things here, right? So you can breathe deep, sitting right there on the floor while you're in the stretch,
Yes.
Before you get under the rack, whatever that might be. So for me, it's really just been trying to bring some of those practices into a comfortable space that I feel safe in, that, my brothers and sisters are around me, and, it doesn't have to be, at the end of the earth in order to get some of those deeper, more heartfelt spaces. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely
Yeah.
test out stuff in the gym, in those spaces in your heart that you take to the real world.
Yeah, not
The
make
hard
it
stuff.
complicated,
I was born for this microphone. Did you
I know.
tell?
We'll be here all day.
Kick back.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Karina, for having
everyone
us.
here. Keep kicking ass and taking it out in the real world.
That's right.
That's right.
And
All
just
right.
being normal people.
Normal
Yes,
people.
authentic, normal people.
Chase the hard thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what advice
Choose the
I ever
hard
got
thing,
for you.
choose
Chase the
joy,
hard
choose
thing.
love.
Yes.
All
Thank
right. Can I get a
The big silence. The big silence.